We didn't know at the time, but we were a floating reserve for the 3rd Marine Division, which had gone ashore at Guam, the island of Guam, which the Japanese had taken from the Americans. So we joined the 3rd Division on Guam. That was a relatively light task, really. A lot of jungle work there, but when the island was secured, a little immersed in the situation. They were sitting there watching these boobies on 16mm cameras, and Guam was American possession, so the natives spoke English. And we sat there watching the movie, and one of the Guamanians come up and said, "You know, you got Japanese back in the rear watching your movie." So we went back there, they had 5 Japanese back there watching the movie. So they took them under guard. But anyway, when the island was secured, that became the home base for the 3rd Marine Division, for their future operations. We had 3 infantry regiments in that division. Most divisions have 3 infantry. But anyway, they had 2 regiments on the coast, on the beach, right? They had 1 regiment back in the jungle. I was in that regiment back in the jungle. And we eat up with mosquitoes. And they had a mosquito lotion you put on. It was, you didn't know which was worse, the lotion or you get bit by the mosquitoes. But we survived. We stayed there and trained for just about a year, really. And I started carrying a flamethrower. So when, that was 1944, in 1945, we left Guam. We didn't know where we were going, but we ended up in Iwo Jima. One of the bloodiest campaigns the Marine Corps ever in. But and we didn't get there on the initial assault. They had 2 divisions, 4th and 5th Marine Division, one on each side of the island. And I was in the 3rd Division. I was in the reserve again. So I was lucky in that respect. But we did go in, I was in 9th Marine, D+1. We had climbed down them cargo nets from the ship in the landing craft below. And we climbed down them cargo nets with full combat load, particularly if you got a flamethrower. It's kind of hard. But anyway, we got down in an assault craft and went ashore. That was D+1. We went ashore and relieved a regiment from the 4th Division that had been disobeyed with his command. They had all their non-commissioned officers and the commissioned officers, 11 of them had been killed. And so we replaced them. We were in contact with the Japanese from that day for 14 days without any relief. I mean, it's hard to be on an island that's only 9 square miles without being in contact with the enemy. But after 14 days, we did get a little relief. Somebody came in and took over. We went back and was able to get a shower. So we really went 14 days with wearing the same clothes, without a shower. But you take a change of clothes in your pack, but nobody bothered to change because every time someone moved, someone got killed. But so we went there 14 days and finally got a shower. And at the time, Iwo Jima had 2 airfields on it with fighter planes on there. And those fighter planes were the ones that intercepted the B-29s that were going to Tokyo. And so it was essential that I would be taken. I guess they figured regardless of the cost. But we went in on the first aircraft. I lost my company commander on that day that we went across the airfield. But the Japanese are known for picking off leaders. But we continued on. We went on to the second airfield. And the Japanese had a third airfield under construction. Because that was pretty close to home. It was 600 miles from Tokyo. So we had a Marine unit come in there with the airplane, but they set up on the apron of the airfield with tents, right? And I guess they had a soldier that had been there fighting, standing guard. But anyway, the Japanese come in there at night and with their sabers and slid into each tent and killed every one of them pilots in there. And they probably, you know, the guard probably was dispatched first, and no noise. In fact, nobody knew anything was going on until the next day. They had to replace the whole squadron, a Marine squadron. But we you know, I gotta have myself. When we left the ship and we in a landing craft going ashore, all the way in, you could see in the water the destruction that was meted upon the American forces. You could see the equipment bowling up in the surf. You could see bodies bowling up in the surf, still in their combat gear. Because the Japanese were entrenched. That's the Japanese island. They've been there for years. But Mount Suribachi was the highest place there, and they had caves all through that volcano, and they were launching. American forces lost a lot of people on the initial invasion right on the beach. There's no protection on the beach, and they were lobbing down 6-inch mortars. They were up high. They could see where. Of course, they always had everything pre-planned, you know, routes of fire and everything. But they blew up the ships, landing boats coming in out in the water, and we're just going ashore and we're seeing all this stuff coming up on the surf, you know, dead bodies and everything else. So it wasn't a nice feeling. But we did go ashore, and after the island was secured, they thought that they were going to take that island in 3 weeks. It took them 5 weeks. But after the island was secured, we sent out patrols. And I went out on patrol, and we come upon a gun position. The gun wasn't there, but the camp was there, you know. And there was a tarpaulin laying there, and we decided to pull us off aside, but we had a caution because the Japanese were known for booby trapping and everything. So we had the tarp moved, and there was a pair of glasses there. The guns used, the periscope type glasses. So I picked them up and carried them back to our bivouac area. And I did finally find a piece of a tree limb laying there and put it in the ground and mounted that glass on that stick. And you can survey the whole area out there. If you look out in the ocean, you see nothing but ships out there. They had 150 ships supporting that campaign. But, and everybody come by there and look through them glasses. There's somebody from the operation in the division come by and said, "Do you know you're supposed to turn that stuff into S3 when you get it for analysis?" I said, "No." "Well, you are. Take it down there." So I took it down to the operations. They took my name and everything and said, "When this is over, you'll get this back." I've never seen it again.
What was your exact position in the Marines? Like, what was your job?
What was my job? I was just a private. I was doing what I was with a squad, you know. I had a flamethrower, and we usually had about a 4-man team protecting the flamethrower when they go out. Each squad, in a rifle squad, we had 3 rifle teams, they call them, 4-man teams, and they could operate individually, but they usually escorted the flamethrower. Because the flamethrower didn't have no firepower, you just carried a pistol. What good is a pistol?
Were you the escort, or were you the guy with the flamethrower?
What?
Were you the escort, or did you have the flamethrower?
I had the flamethrower.
Tell me about what that was like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I felt a lot about the flamethrower, but like I say, I trained with the flamethrower in Guam, which was nothing but jungle. And we got to Iwo Jima, there was no vegetation growing. But
did you ever have to use a flamethrower on Japanese soldiers?
Oh, yes. Well, you don't. You go for the position. They're in caves usually. So you go for the cave. And really it's not the flame that kills. The flamethrower uses up all the oxygen in the area. So they die from lack of oxygen, really. Of course, I guess some do die from the flame. But one thing about the flamethrower is once it's depicted by the Japanese, they throw everything they got at it because nobody wants to be in a fire, right? But I had probably one of my worst experiences there when I come upon a position that had been evacuated, where they moved forward, but a flamethrower man, I didn't see the body, but I seen his entire skin impaled upon a rock outgrowth there. And what they theorized happened, he was carrying a flamethrower, and a bullet hit the tank with the compressed air, and the compressed air followed the trail of that bullet to his body and just skinned him alive. Like I say, I'd never seen the body because it happened before I got there, but I did see the remains of what happened.